Last week, I was out at Antifa's de facto headquarter in Denmark doing a video about the dangers of exercising your free speech in Denmark. In front of the building, I wanted to interview the free speech activist and right-wing provocateur Rasmus Paludan, who was holding a protest against Antifa's violent behavior. Rasmus Paludan has been subject to many assaults and threats because of his outspoken political views, criticizing immigration and Antifa. The interview with Rasmus Paludan was sadly interrupted by Antifa throwing balloons with piss at us while the police was unwilling to protect the protest. This is what happened next. So it appears that Antifa is throwing piss at us. This is not really a new tactic from their side. It is rather unsympathetic, you might dare to say, no matter what side you're on. So this is basically Denmark right now. If you go to the wrong places, you're gonna get piss thrown at you by Antifa. Oh, ja. Hallo, du er i gang med at ramme civilister, bro! Civilister!
Ja, men hvem er det, der konfronterer? Det var, der har den konfronterende adfærd.
Men det er jo igen...
Men prøv at høre, hvad jeg siger til dig.
Ja.
Hvem er det, der først har den konfronterende adfærd? Det er dem, der godt ved, at de pisser folk af. Ved at komme og møde herop her. Og det er det samme, der skete nede i Folkets Hus. Og så blev de nødt til at lukke det hele en hel dag, fordi de var bange for, at for nylig, fordi at de var bange for, at der ville konfrontationer ude foran. Men det hørte jeg i radioen, og det synes jeg er problematisk, fordi der er rigtig mange, der godt kan lide det hus og bruge det og sådan noget.
Måske skulle de folk, som så gerne vil bruge det, måske ville det være en bedre idé, hvis de så sagde til antifascistiske aktioner, de her typer, at de var nødt til at lade være med at bruge det til deres politiske formål i stedet for. Okay, I just want to ask you, since you call yourself anti-authoritarian, why are you attacking people on the street and throwing piss at them? Look, you just threw piss at that lady! What the hell is wrong with you? You literally just threw piss at a lady down there. I'm not even joking. What's wrong with you? Genuinely. It's hard to be neutral when you're throwing piss at people, guys. What the hell? So what do you have to say to that? Anything?
Are you a journalist? Excuse me, are you a journalist?
Sure.
How funny is it that you're a journalist on the side of somebody who constantly talks about a lying press? How funny is that?
So, being critical of the press, what does that have to do with anything? I'm just here for free speech.
Down on the street right now, except for two people. What you're doing right now, a fucking manipulation right there.
I'm not manipulating anything. I'll put this up. I'm not going to manipulate anything. The fact is just somebody who, you want to call him a provocateur or whatever, he comes in front of your building and you throw piss at him. Isn't that slightly unsympathetic? And you likely also destroyed his office and other things like that. The protesters chant no to the violence of the autonomous. Autonomous is a word not commonly used in the Anglosphere. Autonomous means basically new left groups who focus on fourth wave feminism and wishes to dissolve the world's borders, like modern anarcho-communists, for example. The autonomous support direct action. Direct action is usually squatting buildings and starting riots with the aim of creating an atmosphere for the overthrow of the state. Antifa is usually associated with autonomism.
Vil du gerne lade dig interview? Kan du komme herned, jo? Nej, jeg har overhovedet ikke lyst til at komme derned. Jeg vil sgu slet ikke sætte til gårds med små tosser som jer, mand. Hvorfor skjuler jeres ansigt?
The police showed up in riot gear for around 5 minutes and then drove off again.
Du har en tendens til at lægge dem ud på internettet. Har du noget at skjule? Jeg har noget at skjule. Nej, overhovedet ikke.
Excuse me, could I ask you some questions? Excuse me, could I ask you some questions? I'm a journalist, or whatever you want to have it. Just citizen journalist?
I guess, no, not on camera.
Okay, we can do it like this. Is that fine? Okay, we'll just record it like this. I'll just film the building. Are you me?
Yeah.
My name is Theodor. I'm a citizen's journalist, and I'm just following this guy around today because he's been quite up in the media here in Denmark regarding free speech and stuff like that, and I found that interesting. So I decided to come out here and follow him around. Who do you Are you a member or are you associated with Bumsen or anything like this? Okay. So why are they throwing piss at him?
Huh?
Why are they throwing urine at Rasmus Paludan?
I don't know. I just came out.
Okay.
I live just around the corner, so I don't know why they're throwing anything.
The fact is that just before, urine was thrown out of that window into a woman that was standing right there. Like just an innocent woman walking by got urine thrown at her from the building that you're associated with. What do you think about that? Do you think that's a shame? Or?
I don't know. Well, I need a broader picture here.
Okay.
Before
I can try to explain it to you. These guys, they just meet up. They're going to do a shoot.
I know who they are.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
That's about it.
Okay. But do you think it's okay to throw stuff at them?
No.
Okay, you don't think so. Okay, thank you. That was about it. So we're standing here with Rasmus Paludan. Rasmus Paludan is a free speech activist and some say provocateur here in Denmark. What motivated you to do this protest today?
Well, the motivation was very clear because Thursday of last week we were here as well, and the theme of the demonstration was quite the same, which is we protest against the violence of the extreme left extremists. And unfortunately last week it didn't really work out because they were able to chase us away because they threw explosives at us when we were here, and they also pointed at our eyes with a laser beam, which was illegal and therefore dangerous for our eyesight. So because it didn't work out last week, I had no choice but to make another protest this week. So that we can actually get through with our message, which is very clear. You're completely entitled to disagree with what I think and what other people think. We disagree internally as well, the members of this demonstration. You don't have to agree, but you have to agree that violence is not a resource for solving your disagreement. And unfortunately, these people behind me, they don't agree with that premise. They think that violence is the only way to solve differences. And everybody they don't agree with, they call a Nazi and they call slurs, and that's very unfortunate. And that's why we are here to demonstrate today, to stand our ground for freedom in Denmark and freedom everywhere in Denmark.
Thank you. So today you're accompanied by 2 bodyguards. I have a question. Do you think the police in general protects you and your activities sufficiently?
Well, absolutely not. The Copenhagen police absolutely do not in general protect me and my activities sufficiently, and it's very clear because in the Police Act Section 7 it's stated clearly that the police has an obligation to protect the citizenry when they associate on the streets, and that's an obligation which has definitely not been met by the police in Copenhagen, and that's very, very unfortunate, and it's certainly something I'm going to gather the attention of in Parliament, because there is no way, in my opinion, that anybody in Parliament, or at least very few, would agree with the assessment of the Copenhagen police that they will not protect the citizenry and their right to gather in peaceful protests.
Have you been harassed or threatened because of your political work?
Absolutely. This has been going on for months now, and I'm afraid that doesn't really seem like it's going to stop. It's going to escalate. Some of it has been covered by the news, but certainly not all of it. On December 2nd, my office, I'm a lawyer profession-wise, my office was trashed, a window was crashed, and they threw in a powder extinguisher, and the powder was set to extinguish, so the powder was everywhere. Every surface in the office was covered with powder, and that's very, very problematic because it destroys any kind of electronic appliance, and it has to be cleaned by specially trained chemical cleaners. So that's a very burdensome attack, and of course that was the intent, and there was also some political graffiti written on the wall outside, so there was no doubt what the motivation was for this attack. Then on the 17th of December, I was speaking in a peaceful protest in this same borough, Northbridge, and while I was speaking, and there was actually police there, but while I was speaking, I was being assaulted from behind. Unfortunately, my cameraman was able to push back the one who tried to attack me before he actually made contact, but he also started shouting slurs at me, and so did his companion. And then on the 25th of January, we went to the House of the People, and there we were chased away, which has been documented previously with people who threw glass at us, and that was very dangerous. And then on on the 8th of February, we went to the House of the People again, and there people threw bottles at us. And that was also very unfortunate. And then on the 24th of March, my office was trashed for a second time in that somebody had smashed 2 windows. And actually, on the 10th of April, only 2 weeks later, my office was trashed for the 3rd time, and this hasn't even been covered by mainstream media, but actually somebody from the extreme left Antifa movement had thrown human feces on the door, which is very unfortunate, but it didn't really have the desired effect because I wasn't told about this until more than a week later because the caretaker made sure that professional cleaners cleaned it up right away. Apart from those instances, there's also been a number of threats. Somebody from Afghanistan wrote that he wanted me to be burned. Another guy from the Antifa movement said that he hoped that I was hit by a Molotov cocktail. So yeah, it's been very, very troubling, and they think that this is the way to behave if there's somebody you disagree with. And I think that's very unfortunate.
Do you think the attacks on your office, do you think that the guys who did that are the same guys that are up there?
I wouldn't be surprised at all if the guys who are up there are exactly the same guys that trashed my office. I think that's very likely because what you have here is the hardcore center of the Antifa movement in Denmark and certainly in Copenhagen. And this is where they plan many of their illegal activities, in my view. Obviously, whether we're able to prove that in court is not always certain, but certainly it's very, very important place for the Antifa movement here, and that's why it's very more important for me and the fellow protesters today to show our distaste for their politically motivated violence and crimes.
Thank you so much. Excuse me. The children yell to Antifa, "Are you robbers?" And Rasmus Paludan joins in.
Hey, røver!
Do you guys think that you're disturbing parents taking their kids home by doing this? And by throwing piss at people? Я не понимаю. Try to speak a bit louder. Excuse me, what are you taking pictures for?
What are you taking pictures for?
For a video, possibly, on free speech. What about you guys? What, to come trash my home? I'm not a fascist, dude. I'm a fucking citizens journalist. That sounds a lot like something a fascist would say. You know, like a communist, I don't know. You guys, if you guys were fascists, you'd just call me communist for being like a citizens journalist. By the way, do you identify like as anarcho-communist, or how do you identify? Anarcho-communism? Do you browse Reddit or r/fascism anytime? Stuff like that? I bet you do. It's okay. It is cool. Reddit is a nice tool, I agree. Nothing wrong with it. Sometimes they have a bit too much censorship in my opinion, but all in all it's fine. Anyways, so are you guys gonna destroy my mom's apartment now? For asking these questions? I'm just kind of wondering. Are you guys gonna do that? I don't know, you've damaged people's cars, you've damaged people's offices, so I'm just wondering, are you guys gonna destroy my mom's apartment for me going out and doing this?
I think you're liable to a lot of like legal shit right now. You can ask the lawyer right behind you what happens if you call people names that you can't fucking back up.
I'm asking you, I'm not calling you any names, dude. I'm asking you, are you gonna trash my apartment? I didn't accuse you of that, dude. Look, if you give me your name, I don't know, I'll email you the fucking footage. We can look through it. Well, I can send you the video if you want. Where am I gonna send it to?
I don't know.
That's.
I am home right now. So.
You're home? Or what are you saying? You live here?
What the fuck
I don't know, like a cool, edgy bar of some sort. It looks like a cool, edgy bar. Because you guys are throwing shit at him, dude. What? The funny thing is, dude, I'm a leftist myself.
I see a lot of potential. I don't know. Whatever they
I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
make you come here with that camera. But
It was just like, I care about freedom of speech and stuff like this, that's all.
Stop de autonomes vold.
fordi det er fandme så voldeligt, Rasmus. Vandballoner, det er kraftedeme voldeligt.
Hallo, nu peger de peger laser på os. Nu peger de laser indenfra. Alright, they just pointed a laser at us. So yeah, that's what that is. You guys just said that you weren't violent, now you're pointing a laser at me, dude! You do realize that kind of shit can blind me? Jeg tror mine øjne er fine.
De er så uhyggelige, ikke? Altså, siger de ikke er voldelige, så kan
You guys are hypocrites, I'm serious, guys.
hyggelige for helvede.
You're hypocrites!
The kid, not knowing there was piss in it, took one of the balloons and threw it into the ground, splashing it over himself. The mother, among other parents whose children go to the kindergarten on the other side of the street I talked to, were extremely displeased with Antifa's behavior.
Han er ude og lave sådan et opslag sådan set, til hans Facebook / forskellige ting, og jeg er bare ude og følger rundt, fordi jeg synes, det var interessant angående sådan noget med ytringsfrihed, og så bliver vi angrebet af dem, sådan set. What just happened? We can both agree that this definitely looks like piss. So this guy was, we're being thrown piss at by Antifa. Did he attack you? Angreb han dig? So you appear to be quite wet with some sort of substance that is not rain. What happened?
I was standing on the corner and this guy came running out with a bucket full of apparently piss. Apparently piss, and he threw it right at me. I don't know, I'm not allowed to be there according to them. I don't know who's the fascist, the ones who tries to keep others from saying what they mean, or the only fascist here is the anti-fascist. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We've been here in about 2 hours. People have gotten piss thrown at them, both just, I don't know, people just biking by, and people associated with the protest that I was just following, because I found it an interesting topic to cover, basically. The guys up here, they've used lasers on me and other people. I'm quite afraid that they're gonna do it again. They've used urine at people. Yeah, like the stuff over there. Yep, that's piss. It's piss balloons. So all in all, I'd say this turned out pretty violent. The police didn't do anything. The police was right here, and they just told us to go away. I don't know why. Like, we're on public property. This is a normal road, and they told us to go away even though we were being attacked. There were lasers pointed at us. The police was right here. They didn't do anything. They also showed up in armor and stuff. But yeah, they didn't do anything about it. They didn't care.
While I wasn't recording, Antifa began to charge the protest and assaulted one of the protesters before stopping because of 2 police officers who were waiting in the background.
Nu må I snakke noget ved dig.
Hallo, politiet! Kan I ikke se, hvad der sker, mand? For Guds skyld!
Det er jo normalt, det der sker.
Rasmus Paludan afterwards asks the police officers why they failed to protect the protest. The police officers tell Rasmus Paludan to dissolve the protest because the police, for an unapparent reason, has decided to not protect the protest from being assaulted.
Men, altså indtil videre, så fortsætter det, som det er gjort, så vil jeg lære videre, hvad der sker.
Okay, men det er bare fordi, mine sikkerhedsfolk siger, at de ikke garanterer min sikkerhed. når der kommer folk løbende på den måde mod os.
This has been all from Yabani for this time. I will soon be doing a video where I go more into depth about freedom of speech in Denmark from my own experiences and views, so stay tuned and take care.